Hey guys, it's Dino. Today is Tuesday, July 15th, 2014, and we are recording live from Viterbo, Italy, which is just about 90 minutes north of Rome, studying abroad with my school, Montserrat College of Art, and students from a couple other schools. I am studying photography over here and also art history. I am here for all of July, and I'm having a great time so far. We are pretty much halfway through with everything. It's very exciting. It's nice weather. It's very sunny. I really wanted to make a video on location because I've been talking about it for so long. So here we are. So there have been a few things on my mind that I've kind of noticed or experienced so far on this trip. A lot of it has to do with being in a new social circle and not feeling obligated to kind of disclose my status as a trans guy to everybody. It's not like I'm hiding it, but it's that nobody really cares, or it's not really much of an issue. There are no issues being raised about it, and it's in the best sense. It's just not an issue here, That also kind of wraps around with me passing as a cis guy, in general. I mean, top surgery and testosterone and facial hair, and I mean, I may be a petite guy, but I still pass as a guy. It's weird, I don't really feel like I identify with the word passing anymore, because I'm just a guy, I guess this whole ordeal or experience here in Italy with the new group of people kind of explains where I am in life right now. And I think it's a good segue into my studies in the fall, because I'm not going to know anybody down there, at least I know people via Facebook, but I'm not really going to know them with the background with them, because on the study abroad trip there are people from my school who know me and know my status, and there are also people from RISD and other schools who I just met, and those who I just met, who I've disclosed my status to, I'm also just curious about it, I mean, for the most part, none of them, it's just a non-issue, as I said earlier, but, some of them ask questions and are curious to know, which I'm more than happy to answer questions and tell them about stuff and educate them, I guess this really does go hand in hand with what I'm going to be kind of experiencing down in Florida when I study in the fall. Or just in general. I don't have to disclose my status as a trans person in any situation anymore. It's not an issue that I have to present and I have to constantly confront. Because, I've had surgery, I can go around topless, I don't have to wear a t-shirt on the beach. I'm really freaking privileged to be able to do all this. I'm freaking privileged to be in Italy right now. I'm just happy, I'm going kind of off topic, but pretty much to summarize that all, it just says where I am in my life right now, which is great. It's fantastic. I can't even explain. And this is not sarcasm at all. This is great. I don't know. Anyways, so another thing that's trans related that I can kind of segue into, I guess, because it's art related, is recently a good amount of my work has been starting to get recognized in the sense that it's having a positive impact on the community, or at least educating about the community or for the community, which is great, because I had constantly been struggling after I graduated high school with my place in the community and how I would continue with being an activist, because I pretty much kind of blend in right now. I mean, I think I've discussed this in previous videos, so it's kind of hard for me to explain it right now, but basically what I'm saying is that I kind of wanted to find a way to still vocalize my thoughts and feelings on things without kind of going to rallies and constantly advocating and doing all the stuff that I used to do in high school. One of the reasons why I don't really do that much anymore is because I just don't have the energy to. It's really exhausting, and I'm already kind of really dealing with a bunch of stuff in my life right now, and I just don't have the energy to deal with it. I mean, I applaud everybody who is my age and in college and going through a lot more shit than I am, who is also an activist and still very all about that, which is great. But to each their own. It's just So anyways, what I was saying is that, so I've been kind of like struggling with how I wanted to still remain vocal about my opinions. And I had been discussing with one of my professors in the fall about my work and how I kind of wanted to still like discuss or disclose or identify myself as trans in my work, but not like be very upfront about it. And I kind of still also wanted to talk about gender. And I kind of still also wanted to talk about gender, but not, again, not being upfront about it. You know, I have been trying to, like, you know, be more passive about that in my work, but a lot of the work up until that point was around my self-portraiture and really about, like, my personal transition and my surgery and my testosterone and a lot of the issues that I have been kind of dealing with was still finishing up my transition in school around people that I know, you know, that kind of stuff. I still wanted to talk about those issues, but I still didn't, but I wanted those issues to kind of be intertwined, like within layers. I didn't want it to be the first concept that I was thinking about while creating my work. And my instructor told me that pretty much the best way to go about it is just you do you, you know? Like, just create your own work and just do your thing, you know, without trying to think too much about it. Those issues and opinions that are on your mind will kind of just come naturally through your work. And not too soon after that, I kind of created work with a dear friend of mine, which was a continuation of their senior thesis project, with their, you know, very hairy body, a lot more hairy than I am, you know, somewhat masculine but also like petite body with self-made tailored princess dresses and kind of those personas that they had kind of been projecting and kind of talking about. I mean, I can't really summarize what they're all about, but they just kind of wanted me to just document the continuation of their series. I was more than excited to do that. You know, I had always been kind of into, like, you know, offbeat kind of stuff. Like, I didn't really like traditional portraiture. So we've been working together a lot, you know, before, and it was a blast. Like, I did a whole bunch of series of photos, and I hadn't even been thinking about, like, the stereotypes and, like, gender identity and all that kind of stuff, like, when I was doing my photos, you know? It was kind of just, like, a normal thing for me. And I was, like, thinking about, like, gender identity, you know, and that kind of stuff. Like, it was the topic of their series, kind of, but it wasn't the main concept that I was going for. I just wanted to take pictures, you know? Not too long after that, a local group of grad students from Emerson, who had been putting on a show, came across my work and wanted to utilize it and talk about it within their discussions to the public. And I hadn't even been thinking about, you know, trying to, you know, create a discussion within things, you know? And I've been excited to kind of let them, you know, show my work and talk about my work and their interpretation of it. I hadn't even consciously thought of what they wanted to talk about. Basically, what they read from it is pretty much how I feel, even though I wasn't actually, like, trying to evoke how I feel. And also there's, like, a bunch of other people kind of, like, online and on Tumblr and stuff who have been contacting me about showing my top surgery photos for discussion for their GSA or whatever. And I've also had some people, like, in college and stuff, you know, show my work and whatever, which is absolutely fantastic. I think it kind of really represents what I want to do with my art and kind of how I'm, I guess, kind of vocalize my opinions and status in the queer community. I don't know, it's just paying off, and I absolutely appreciate the advice that my instructor gave me. And a lot of the work that I've been doing recently hasn't really been remotely about gender. You know, it's been kind of really ambiguous and kind of personal but impersonal. The concept that I'm working on here, because we have to do a series in Italy and then also afterwards, is I'm doing kind of like anti-portraits, which are pretty much human presence without humans present, which means that I'm documenting where people have been, or like kind of just a representation of humans being present, like their belongings or possessions kind of just, you know, laid out somewhere. But I am leaving the people out of it. So there's an absence of them. And none of it's really staged or anything, it's just kind of found photography, like documentary in a way. I'm really, really happy about doing that because I had pretty much all been about, portraiture and commercial work, and a lot of my work wasn't really strongest in conceptual stuff. I'm really happy that being in Italy and being on the study abroad trip has really helped me develop my conceptual skills. And I'm more than excited to continue on with this project. And I'm just really excited to see that my work is going on a whole different level and on a whole new direction than it has been going. I mean, so much inspiration around here, and really overwhelming, and it took a while to kind of like tone it down a bit, like take everything in and then kind of like organize my thoughts and concepts and then like narrowing it down and kind of just going with one. I don't know, I'm just really happy with my art and where I am and everything. So yeah, that's pretty much where I am right now. I will try to update you guys at some point on my thoughts and feelings after the trip, and I don't know, I'm going to be bouncing around a lot from now until December. I will try to give you guys updates from the road. I mean, I guess this is the road, I guess. Alright, I will see you guys later. Keep your head up and have a great time doing everything ever and stuff. Alright, bye.